I have a confession to make. I like flowers on my cards, but I don't like to color them. Pinkfresh Studio to the rescue. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I was able to make these pretty floral shaker cards with no coloring skills at all. The flowers are Whimsical Blooms washi tape from Pinkfresh Studio with matching dies. So I'm going to show you how easy they are to use. You simply roll them out on a piece of cardstock and cut them out with a matching one-piece die that lines up very easily. And I made these pretty shaker cards. I also recently discovered these Pinkfresh glitter drops at a local stamp shop, and I had to buy all 4 of these colors, which you will see in my shaker cards. Now I'm also using foiled acetate from Hunky Dory that I found at Paper Wishes. So there are many different patterns to choose from, and I just like the idea of stepping up my shaker cards and having some pattern to the acetate in addition to the gorgeous jewels and shaker bits from Pinkfresh and these pretty flowers. So this first card has all of those different things, and then on the inside I put a pretty sentiment and another flower. So all the details on all the cards that I show will be in my blog post, and links to those and the products featured are in the description box. Here is another one that I did. I had the patterned foiled pretty floral acetate, some more pretty flowers from that same set, and I love to use 2 different colors either together as I did in that one, or in this case I was able to separate them with this cool cover die from Cat Scrappiness. But what if you don't have foiled acetate? I suggest you get some. But if you don't have it, you can make acetate that's very much more interesting in my opinion than plain acetate for shaker cards by using rub-ons. These are from 49 in Market, and they work beautifully on acetate. So you just rub them on with the stick, and then I used more of the washi tape from Pinkfresh Studios. In this case, this one is the In the Meadows set. So I have 4 of them now. They're just so pretty, and they just make such gorgeous paper and gorgeous flowers, and I just don't have to color them, and I can use them both on the front of the shaker card, and then I put them on the inside with a pretty sentiment. So this one's a mini slim shaker card that I made. And here's a 5x7. I was going to show you that washi tape, but it just fell off, but that's okay. Here's rub-ons from Prima, and the flowers are called Anemone Magic from Pinkfresh Studios. So I added those to both the acetate and to the frame. And here's another pretty rub-on from Prima that I put on the inside of this card. My favorite, let me move a few things here, of the new washi tapes with matching dies that I got is the Rainbow Floral. So this is the die set that you get with it, and it also has a matching stamp set. Most of them have that, and some of them even have matching stencils. But I like to get the washi tape and the die mostly, and that's what I'm going to show today. So what I do is I take a piece of cardstock and I cut 4 1/4 by 11. That's a little bigger than what you need, but that's okay, piece. In this case, I'm putting it on a shimmer white cardstock. So there's some shimmer to that, and there'll be shimmer in the border to the flowers. But you can experiment. This set is lovely on pink. So this is pink cardstock, and then you get a different look. You have pink around the edge, or just plain white cardstock works great too. So you can see that. And then I think I might try it like on a yellow and maybe a blue. So because this is rainbow, each one will look a little bit different. I like to use lighter colors though. I will tell you from experimenting, the lighter colors in my opinion work the best. So all you do is you start unrolling it, and it comes off quite easily, and the pattern is repetitive. So in this case I have the circular wreath there second, but you could put the flowers, put the wreath first, depending on how you cut them out. Maybe you just want to do one at a time, but there's kind of like two sections. And I don't want this to stick. Well, it's starting to stick. Oh, dang it. While I was talking, it started to stick. Okay, so there are kind of, it's repetitive, and in the way I do it, there are two sections. There's the small flowers, and then there is the wreath. So I just take a scissors and cut it off there. And then I am going to lay it on this piece of shimmer cardstock and just flatten it out, and it's that easy. Now if you get any wrinkles, and occasionally you do, I just take a good bone folder. This is my Teflon one from Scrappiness, and you can take the wrinkles out. In this case I don't have any. So the die is set up that it will cut out these, usually the wreath is first and then the flowers. But I like to do half and half anyway, because I don't have an extended plate for my die cutting machine, which is the M-Press. So what I do is I take this and I cut this in half, and then I line this up on my cutting plate. Use your flip sides, and I use some temporary tape to put it exactly where it should be, and you can, it lines up very easily. You can tell. You want a little bit of a white border all the way around the wreath, and also on that floral piece there. And then when you have it, you tape it in place, build your sandwich, and run it through. Now I would repeat that with these pieces here. And end up with the wreath, this piece in the center, and all of these pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces every time I run this through twice, and I end up with a lot of floral pieces that I can use. But for the demonstration and for the card that I'm going to do, I will just show you these two. But you can see how easy that was. And I have a beautiful rainbow floral wreath, and I have this piece too, and I'm going to make a shaker card with that. So I have cut some pieces in advance. I have an A2 card base with a embossed piece of that shimmer paper, and this is a pretty embossing folder from Memory Box to frame this. I've already put the inside piece in and one of those washi tape pieces from that rainbow floral from Pinkfresh Studio. So that is ready to go. I am going to show you an easy way to make a shaker. I have cut a circle of floral foiled acetate, and that's going to fit on the back of this. What I really like is, can you see this side is gold and then this side is silver, so you get to choose between two colors, and you know where you want your foiled picture. So it's really, really versatile, and I just think it adds so much more interest to have something on there. So I'm just using some skinny score tape, and I'm just kind of bending it and going around in a circle. You can see how easy this is just to attach that acetate even if you have a circle. And I don't think it really matters where those flowers are. So there we have some pretty, you know, it's see-through, but it's still foiled on that acetate, which makes it even more interesting. Now my secret to making easy, really easy shaker cards is to use skinny adhesive strips like these to create the well to put my shaker bits in. So I'll have a link to these in my description box. I've gotten them all over, but they're 1 1/8 inch wide, and they are stick on both sides, and they bend very easily. Now, of course, if you're doing a square or a rectangle, it's even easier. But in this case, with a circle, you know, you just bend it and go around, and you're creating that well. Of course, when you put the second one and the third one, however many you need, you got to come right to this piece here and don't leave any gaps. So just line those up and keep going. And there is a little bit of a gap between those two, so I'll take one of my smaller pieces here that I always save them, and I will get that little bit closed as well. Before I take that off, I'm going to take my powder tool from EK Success, and I'm going to go around the edge of that adhesive strips and also on my acetate. So that will help to have the shaker bits move well. I have taken some of the pink and purple of those beautiful Pinkfresh, they call them glitter drops, and got them ready to go. So I am simply going to dump those in. Whoop. That's probably plenty. And then I'm going to remove the cover of that sticky adhesive strips that are raising that. And then I always have a shape, whatever, if it's square, circle, rectangle, excuse me, ready to go. I don't try to put this onto the card base. I think that's too difficult. You know, I suppose you could turn it over and do it, but you don't know where it's going to end up. And I also don't like, you know, I've seen people try to create these, leave an opening, and then slip your, you know, pieces in. I just find this so much easier. All of a sudden I have a cough. Come on. I'm just getting the cover off of those strips. And then I just take my circle and I line it up and press down firmly. And our pretty rainbow wreath shaker is done. So you can see how that's so easy. There's people that are intimidated by shakers, but I just think that's really, really easy to do. And it's even easier if you have a square shape or a rectangle, as in some of the ones that I showed you. So I'm just going to use some two-sided score tape to attach this. This is the tissue tape from Tonic, and it does tear easily, but when I want it to be specifically to a certain length, I just use a scissors. It's a little easier. And the top does come off a little easier than some of the tapes, and it's real strong, but I still find using a pokey works best. Alright, so I'm going to put this, there's a heart there, so I'm going to kind of line this up right in there. Where do I want my flowers to be? About there, I guess. And press it down. And then I have a sentiment. This one is from Sue Wilson and Creative Expressions, Heartfelt Thanks. I find myself using a lot of thank you cards lately. A lot of times I like to just keep them in my car, and you know, if I go into a doctor's office or even the grocery store, I like to just hand out thank you cards without signing them that people can use, just as a way to say thank you for all the service that you provide and all your hard work. And then a little more color in the corner. One more of those washi tape rainbow floral pieces that were so easy to make. And our thankful shaker card is done with those pretty gems and washi tape flowers from Pinkfresh Studios. And then when you open it up, there's another flower in there where I can write my message. I love how these shaker cards turned out and my new finds from Pinkfresh Studio. I hope my cards inspire you to give some of these ideas and products a try. Thanks for stopping by, and for some more shaker card ideas, watch the next video coming up.